Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to New York State Music in Motion here, where we interview New York State artists. We are back for season 3. Thanks very much. I'm your host, Frank Palangi, and we're going to get rocking.
This season, we are sponsored by the Helpin' Friendly Salve, an all-natural herbal extract. You can check them out at thehelpinfriendlysalve.com.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'd like to welcome Richie Ortiz from the Lake George area in the building. What's going on, Richie?
How are you, Frank? Nice to see you, man.
Good, man. It's been one hell of a year.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's fun. First off, I want to say, so it's funny that you say Richie, because most people, so I know that kind of like you knew me for a long time, like in the Glens Falls region. So
20
Glens
plus
Falls,
years.
Yeah. In Glens Falls, I'm like Richie. And then you get down to Saratoga, I'm Rich Ortiz. So I'm happy with either one, but I just thought it was funny because it makes me think, oh yeah, that's how long we've known each other. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because when I went to your website, I'm like, why does it say Rich Ortiz?
Yeah.
Where's the Richie, man? Richie Rich going on.
Yeah.
So
another thing about my name is like Richie Valens has like the T in his name. It's
yeah.
So like everyone that says Richie, they put a T in it because they assume, and I feel like it's because they watch, La Bamba, I think maybe.
Yeah. Something.
They like it. Yeah. So
you need the money symbol in there. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Like right in the middle.
Richie Rich. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That'd be cool. So, I would describe your stuff as soulful. You got rock, you got all the way to the classics from the Beatles and that kind of stuff. And then even the John Denver type styles. How would you describe what you do to somebody who necessarily hasn't listened to, I know, your music versus your cover stuff? Because I know it's
right. Well, I'm still trying to decide. I ask myself that question a lot. Like, what's that like? Like, what would you call like Americana rootsy? Like that's, I think, am I that, or am I like this? Am I like a acoustic, like soulful acoustic, adult contemporary? Like, but then I get into this like islandy thing too.
I hear that a lot. It's a lot in the beats and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, a little islandy feel, a little Spanish feel. I really phone call. Ignore. I really find that my music kind of takes me to a lot of different places and styles. Like I just kind of grab a little bit of everything that I enjoy, to try to train.
Yeah. I've heard those different styles too, especially between your two albums that you got going on. Yeah. Now, how do you pick the cover stuff? Is it more of this is what the audience wants to hear, or this is my style and these are kind of the artists that I like? Gosh,
I mean, over the years, so I let's just do like a quick timeline.
Start in the beginning.
Of that question. My grandfather, who is actually an entertainer and performer still, I think he's in his like late 80s, and he still plays in Florida. He said to me when I was younger, and my great uncle, who's also a musician, when I went to them and tried to seek some, knowledge on this, as a young 17-year-old musician, they told me, look, if you want to play for a living and do covers and go out and make money, they can sit and stay busy. Yeah. You need a song for everybody. That's what they tell me. If you want to do that and be an entertainer. And that's what they were. They were entertainers, right?
Yeah. Give them what they want.
So you learn a song for everybody. Okay. Different languages, different styles, different age groups. A song for the kids, a song for the elders, a song for the Italians. Try to touch everybody's, try to grab, everything you can, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying specifically Italians, but I thought of like volare and then
what about Irish music? I can't get into it. I just can't.
So anyway, that's what they said, so, and I listened to them was like, all right, this is what I want to do. And it was about like, hey, when you're younger, it's like career isn't like necessarily about like, for some people, it's not necessarily about the art, right? Sometimes it's about like, how am I going to make money to like go live in my apartment or whatever it is, right?
Yep.
How am I going to pay
what's
my
the
bill?
driving force there? Is it
Right.
music or is it money?
Right. So for me, the driving force was, hey, wait, I can make a living doing something that I love, and like, but I got to just do it a certain way so I can make a really good living at like in a lot of different environments. Right. Okay. So that's how it started.
Yeah.
And then I did have the original music. You know, I tried to really connect with the art in writing songs. Right. Okay, cool. And then, but as I kind of continued growing, it became like, I'd start learning songs that like, all right, I really like that song, or like that song's really cool, or like that artist is really cool. I want to learn that. So then I'd go ahead and pick up that song. But
yeah.
I don't know about you, Frank, but like a lot of songs that my phone's ringing again. A lot of songs that you really love that you go to learn, after you learn them and then play them for like a year or two, like you kind of lost that love and feeling for that song, and you have to like go back and like listen to the original artist and be like, yeah, it's still not the same. It changes.
Yeah, it does.
It's like,
it does.
It's like a different love. It's like, it's almost like a relationship. You like it starts off so like, oh, I'm so passionate about this song, and then like it becomes a little different. Like throughout the years, you're like, you love it for a different reason. Yeah. Maybe that's just too deep, but you know what I mean, though. I think you do.
I do. I have that with Kryptonite, Three Doors Down. It's like, yeah. I love the original, and I've grown to play it a few different ways. I try to evolve it, so I don't always play the same. But
right.
I know what you mean. It's either like I keep coming back to the original, like I should do it more like the original or something like that. And then you're like,
I guess what I mean is like, no, it's different. It's like when I hear a song and I don't know how to play it, and I hear the musical artist perform it, and I have this deep appreciation and this feeling it brings out in me, you know, like emotionally.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And then after I played it for like a million times and like do it my own way, and like it becomes a part of me, it no longer captures that feeling, right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it goes away a little bit. It's too familiar. It's
it's a different. It's too close to home. It doesn't touch.
Yeah. Maybe yourself gets involved with it too much.
Yeah, it's too much self.
It's not the artist thing anymore.
It's not an artist. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So that happens with songs, but yeah.
Sometimes you get too technical. Like I hate certain songs now because I realize what they're doing in it, and I'm like, it's like, how does that work? You get pissed off, like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that was like how did they get away with that? Like 3 chords and things all over the radio.
Yeah, exactly. Like Teen Spirit, man. It's the whole song is 4 chords, basically. Right. You know what I mean? It's like
that stuff was that was energy. That was like a movement.
Yeah,
you know, that was like
and you got to have the band. And, you know, us solo artists, it's tough to pull off those songs with
for
band.
Sure.
But I do want to get into you're not just acoustic. They always say Richie in the band because you have bass stuff going on. You have some beats in the background. How did you get started with doing everything with all your limbs?
Yeah. Well, sorry. So I started doing that solo act, and I had like a drum machine.
Yep.
And it was me standing up with my acoustic guitar and pressing play on like this little Alesis drum machine, right?
Yeah. The old ones weren't that great either.
It was like an SR-16. It was like from 1994. So I still have it. Okay. And I did that in Florida, which was like, you know, like Margaritaville and like all that stuff.
Is that where you started out, Florida, playing?
Yeah, I started playing like gigs like in Florida.
Okay. Because I grew up with your brother. He was in Delta Sleep and a couple other bands. And,
which was that was a great band. I loved that album they put out.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, he was like totally emo, like hardcore. Yeah. Yep. So cool. Anyways, totally different style that back then, but now he's definitely succumbed to the acoustic solo act.
Oh, okay.
As well. Yeah.
Yep.
So super talented. He reminds me of he sounds like this is embarrassing. Oh my gosh, my brain is not Adam Levine. He sounds like Adam Levine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's
that high now.
Yeah, he sings high. Yeah, really good. So anyways. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
How did you get started with all the the playing
the
with
drum machine.
every single limb too.
Exactly,
You got all the limbs going.
So drum machine and the guitar. And I actually got bored of standing there with this drum machine. And I thought to myself, like, you can't go anywhere musically with a drum machine. Like, I'm not like, I didn't see the vision of being like the quintessential solo act and like bringing that somewhere to like actually perform. Like, cause I did have my own music. I did have a passion to kind of like, see where it would go. Right.
You wanted to hold the rhythm down a little bit differently.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So,
expand.
Right, exactly. So I wanted to be musical. That's what I want. I wanted to like be like, I wanted to be musical. And for me, like musical integrity was important. Just having a drum machine and a track going behind you just didn't feel right in my heart. So, all right, I did that. I got bored. And plus the gigs seemed to go like really slow. So then my uncle's like, you should check out these bass pedals. My uncle Gino's in Florida. He plays these bass pedals. They call him Barefoot Gino. And he has me jump on these bass pedals. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. So he's like, you got to get these. My mom's a dance teacher. Like I've always been kind of coordinated. Yep. So he's like, you crush those bass pedals. So, all right. So I bought them. I was like, fairly young. And I sat there and I was like hitting like 18, maybe 19. I was like hitting the bass and trying to play the chord. And I was like, okay, all right. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to bring this out to my gig and just see what happens. So I bring it out to my gig and just like be like, bonk, boom, bonk, hit all these like total boners. But I would just like be like, simple. All right. Yeah. So I get on the route. And then, so I added the bass pedals, which evolved into like really being like really fun. Like, it's just really fun. So then the loopers became popular. Keller him at one point. I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to be that guy because he's like the loop master, right? But I would like to incorporate the loops a little bit. So
you could loop your bass. You could loop,
Yeah, but I don't loop my bass. I do not loop my bass. Yeah.
Okay.
What I loop is
rhythm.
Just the guitar, the hand slaps, the percussion off the guitar, and I'll use brushes, and then I'll loop a rhythm guitar after that to build a solo. Yeah. But even during like a guitar solo, I'm still playing the bass lines in real time with my feet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was like, you probably could loop the bass too. It'd be kind of neat.
No. So that's my niche or my talent is that I can play the bass and the guitar at the same time, no looping, and just kind of go.
And you always have to sit down, right, because of the bass pedals.
Yeah, I mean you could stand up, but it's not the same.
Yeah, maybe if you're doing what's that, a Van Halen one, it just goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be cool. I remember. When I was going to ACC college, I walk in. It was like the first day, and you were playing in the student center. Yeah, I think you were doing Ring of Fire, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I know that tune and stuff." And then the feet going boom, da, boom, da. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's I think it's a fun deal. I mean, it makes the gig feel like you're doing music, very musical,
more creative. Yeah, because you could throw in, if you're doing a slow song or something, you do just guitar, and then you throw back in the stuff, and then some without drum loops, some with drums. So you have like, 6 different possibilities or something like that.
Yeah,
and
something like that. But
you could even sing just bass. Sing with the bass lick and no guitar.
Yeah, I've done that. It's fun. Yeah.
Because a lot of times, like if you're doing some songs, I'm sure some people they know the words, they just sing it. You know what I mean? So you're like, all right, I'll stand here and do the boom and just sing it. And they'll sing it. Let them sing it for you.
Yeah,
that's what I love. Is it kills some time,
Yeah, I mean, it does. It just makes it feel like it makes it more enjoyable to create. And time goes by really fast, and you can kind of, how you were saying, like you do the song a few different ways just to keep it interesting. Like, when I'm able to play the bass and the guitar and loop my own percussion, I can set every moment up the way I want to, you know what I mean, without relying on any preconceived, like music or like, you know what I mean, like any drum beats or anything like that. So it's like, it's almost really like in real time like no matter what song it is, I never really play it the same. I just kind of play it based on the moment, like.
Yeah, tempo changes, or if it's to a track, it's always got to be that same tempo.
Yeah, it's like tempo changes, like arrangements are always like, just always however it goes that day,
Yeah, if you got to drop out something, you drop it out, or...
And I try to adapt, and like that makes it a little more exciting. I try to like take my mood and like put it into the music like every time, and just it makes it fun.
So gear wise, what are you using for gear as far as guitars, name brands, all that good stuff?
Yeah. Well, I have a Takamine Santa Fe. It's like an older acoustic guitar. I've been playing that my whole career. Well, early on, I found that guitar to have a really good pickup and cedar top for tonally for the percussion and hand slaps.
Yep.
It's kind of like unmatched for like the tones I'm used to, So I actually bought the same exact guitar brand new. So I have two of them. They're both the same.
There you go.
One is like completely destroyed, like with sweat stains and like wood just like chipping off it everywhere.
Yeah. Yep.
And like,
do you have to harden it with the slapping a lot of it? Because wouldn't it crack?
Oh, it's like, it doesn't crack, but it's got a ton of like,
indents.
Yeah, a ton of
lines, those fine ones.
A ton of like the actual body of the guitar is like completely sepia tone, like sweat, and like a lot of the lacquers like completely wore off. But anyways, it's cool, and I have that same guitar, but like brand new, so it's like going back in time. You like pull it out. Yeah.
That's what Willie Nelson does. He still uses the same guitar.
Yeah, I have the same one, but I also have the brand new version of the same one I have. So I have a 1994 Santa Fe, untouched in a case, like brand new case, like everything.
That's what you want, because you never know.
Right, because you never know. So, like right now, as a matter of fact, my neck broke. I had this is a cool, kind of a cool story. The Santa Fe in like 2007, I was doing a gig up in Lake George, and drunk dancer falls on my guitar as it's propped up against the deck.
Yep.
And breaks the neck on the guitar. And like, I was really fairly young, and I like it was just inconceivable to me. Like, what do you mean like I have to go to my next gig? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep. What am I going to do?
I can't tell. Yeah. Like so I got a C clamp from the bar, some bar coasters, and I ran up to like the hardware store in Lake George Village.
Yep.
Right on the corner past the arcade, grabbed some like wood glue epoxy, ran down, stuck the wood glue epoxy in my guitar, took a C clamp, like loosened the strings, took C clamp and bar coasters and put them on each side of the neck, and clamped the C clamp down till my guitar straightened out. Literally.
How long did that take?
It was like 40 minutes. I unscrewed it and like played it.
Wow.
And then
it got you through?
It got me through, and then I never fixed it until ever. And like, so now, how many years is that? I don't even know.
How old those bar koozies on there? It's probably like
no, the bar koozies I had to rip off, and it was like, you can see like chunk of glue on the back of it,
Yeah, that'd be gross.
Eventually that all came off. Here's the deal. The guitar started to chip or crack for the first time.
Yep.
Since that injury, right? And I just sent the guitar to get fixed by a luthier. And he said he's going to take his time, and it's going to take a while. So I won't have that guitar back till probably like December.
Okay. So now you're going to bust out the new one?
So I've been using the new one.
Yeah.
And it feels oddly like it's like as close to anything. You can't get any closer tone wise. Like you just can't.
Yeah.
Like the percussion stuff. It's like, it's almost like flawless, but it plays different. It feels different. And it's like, it's growing on me, but it's,
yeah.
it's like the closest you can get to like what you like exactly had before, but it's not the same, you know?
Yeah. No, I do the same thing. I find a guitar and I buy 2 of them, especially if you're playing out a lot. That's what I do. I'm Ovation guy. So I'm like, what kind of Ovation do I like? And then I'll play around with it and I'll say, okay, I think this one's going to work. And then I'll go out and get a second one. Cause like you said, sometimes the electronics, a jack goes in it and all of a sudden it doesn't work. And you're like, what are you going to do? I want to talk about too. It's like you opened up for a lot of artists, and in those cases, you need 2 or 3 guitars because you just never know. You just never know, and there's no reason for it either. Sometimes it's just like the battery component in it is just dead.
Right, like it's silly. But Takamine, I will say this: in my career, that guitar has been so good to me. Like, I mean, if I ever like showed Takamine like what I've done to that guitar throughout the past 25 years of my career,
oh my God.
they'd be like, you get these for free for life because
you should.
That guitar, the only thing I ever had happen was the contact on the input jack went, and that's it. And that happens after like 4,000 gigs, you know, it's like plug in, plug out. Eventually that thing's got to go.
Yep.
But other than that, flawless. That pickup, flawless. That preamp, flawless.
Just works.
Just goes.
Yeah, just do it. As long as it works.
And the other thing it is like, I don't know. Like, how many have you ever like left your guitar in the truck by mistake or like in the vehicle by mistake, like after a gig?
My second guitar. Yeah.
So, like, I remember I did that in the beginning of my career, and like I took my guitar out of my truck, and it was like the whole top was like cracked everywhere.
Yeah, it warps wicked. Yep.
And I was like,
fully
oh my God.
tune.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God. I'm gonna tell you something. My Takamine, I found out that, you know, I can leave that thing in the guitar in the truck year round, winter, summer, spring, or fall. Never take it out, and the thing will play it virtually almost perfectly in tune, and the action will stay the same.
That's crazy.
And
very rare.
And that happened to me. I was like, this is the guitar. Like, this guitar is made from good, you know, God's good earth. It's just magical. So
you used it opening up for a lot of people here. Chicago, Ludacris. The REO Speedwagon and Ted Nugent show. I remember that one.
Yeah.
And Hoobastank?
Yeah, that was old. That was like a big.
I love Hoobastank.
Yeah, that was an old one. Yeah.
How did that happen?
There was like this festival. I can't remember the name of it now. Down and outside of Albany. Oh my gosh.
Was it not the Move Festival, right?
No, someone's gonna
shout it out there. Anybody who's listening?
Yeah, someone's gonna kick my butt. I can't remember what it was. It was like it was a festival. And they played it. And I was like, I was on the same stage and I got to open for them. And then you know, another one is Lucas Nelson. He was cool. I've opened up for like Charlie Hunter. He was a cool, like, play some cool stuff.
Is that the American Idol voice dude?
Who's that? Which one?
Charlie Hunter. Was he from the Voice?
Oh,
of
no.
Idol?
Charlie Hunter is a musician. He plays a 5-string bass, super talented.
Oh,
so
okay.
like, I was going to say the ones I'm saying I opened up for were guys that like I valued, like I really valued their music, like the samples. I really liked the samples.
Yep.
And I got to open for them. I really loved so it's like, it's really cool when you get to open up for some of the acts that you like. Not only are they really famous, but you really grew up loving them, you know?
Yeah. Well, you went fishing because you love fishing with Ted Nugent, right? You were on his show, I remember. He had like a fishing show.
No, I wasn't. No. But I think I know where you're coming from. He actually invited me and like made a promise, or not a promise, made like a, you know, we're going to do this show and we're fishing. But I hung out with them. Can I tell that story really quick? Because that's a good one.
Because I remember seeing the pictures. You did hang out with them, but you didn't.
I did hang out fishing. With him. Yeah. No, we didn't go fishing. We were supposed to. He was like, "I'm getting you on a show," but he never did. But
well, thanks, man.
That was pretty crazy. That was I'll just give you one part of that story that was hilarious.
Okay.
I have a bow and arrow, and I thought to leave it in my truck the night of that gig, right? Just in case like he could sign it or something, because he's such an archer.
Yep.
So I'm sitting in there, I'm having this really good chat with Ted, and Ted's like sitting down, he's like chilling, he's telling all these stories, and like after like 20 minutes, I realized like, yeah, we're pretty engaged. Like the vibe is right. You know, I'm eating like organic chicken soup with him. I'm like, I'm there, you know, I'm like, we're like bonding. So I was like, look, like nothing for nothing, but I'm just going to throw this out there. I brought my bow, and it would just like blow my mind if I could have you sign that. He's like, dude, go get it right now. So I'm like, wait, but like, how am I going to get it in the Civic Center during the concert? Right?
Yeah, they don't let you leave or come in.
Like they don't let you leave. Nevertheless, come in with like a weapon, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm like at the Civic Center, not SPAC. I'm at the Civic Center, and I'm like, all right. So he's like, no. He like called some guy met me and is like, let's go get your bow. Like we went out, like I came in with my bow, like through the concert, like through the main entrance, like with like a state troopers and like walking through the crowd, like with a bow and arrow, like a legit compound bow. And I brought it in, and Ted signed it. I still have the bow. I still use it, but
that's crazy.
That was just crazy. I felt like
huge bodyguards.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah. That's cool. Damn. I don't know how they allowed that one.
Yeah, right.
It's Ted Nugent. Why wouldn't you?
It's Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
Guy gets away with that.
Do you because I know he's like an 80s metal guy. Who else do you like from the 80s metal? Do you listen to that stuff too?
So Ted Nugent, like my uncle, I grew up like, I don't know. It was like before I saw my first Playboy, I saw the Ted Nugent cover to Cat Scratch Fever. Like, and I was like,
yep.
Oh my gosh.
Tarzan.
What does Wang Dang Sweet Poo Tang mean, uncle? Like, what's that? I had no idea.
Yeah.
So like, I was like, this music's like, you know, this music got me going. The Twisted Sister, I had that. I had like Twisted Sister. When I was younger, I actually really like, cause I lived in Bergen County, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
And I was like probably like 9. Twisted Sister was like what we listened to, you know?
Yeah.
And so I had I had that. I was like, yeah, Twisted Sister, this is cool. I don't know. As far as like music that I like I didn't really like much. I just had like circumstance happened. I crossed paths with some music like that, but yeah, I'm pretty much I admire the singer-songwriters mostly, you know?
Yeah, I see that.
You know, I love Bill Withers and stuff like that.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I love like Bill Withers, Peter Gabriel, like, you know, James Taylor's huge for me, Jim Croce, you know.
What about Dave Matthews? I hear a lot of Dave Matthews in you.
Dave Matthews, I think, is an incredible songwriter, like super prolific songwriter. I mean, his lyrics and his guitar parts are really, really brilliant. And I mean, I think he translates it in performance well. I think these songwriters that can perform and have the energy, and then they also write the lyrics, you know, that's a certain skill, you know?
How do you think he sells out SPAC every year, twice, two days? You know what I mean? And he really hasn't had a big hit in a couple of years. Well,
he has a lot of songs. I mean, I don't even know. Yeah. I don't even know how many. I'm not like an Uber fan or anything, but I just I just know that, you know, I don't really geek out on music, to be honest with you. Like, I really appreciate music. I think I like Tedeschi and Trucks. Like, I like the Tedeschi Truck Band. If I were to say, like, what's a band that you'll go see? That's them. Like, okay. I wouldn't go see Dave Matthews. I did. It's just not my thing. I like it. I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's great. Music that really touches me. It's just like, there's just a few musicians that really have that magic where you just get deep in your soul, you know?
Yep.
Live.
Yeah. Live. Yeah. I know what I mean. Yep.
And I have that. And I do have that. But you know, I definitely appreciate Dave Matthews. I appreciate when I was younger, I didn't appreciate Bob Dylan. I didn't like him when I was like young. Like when I say young, I mean like 16, 17. I was like, that guy's voice is like not for me. Like I couldn't even listen to the songs.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm the same boat.
I couldn't listen to the songs. But then like, as I've gotten older and realized like, dude, this guy's like straight genius. Like you listen to the words and the lyrics and then you like, don't even care what he sings like. You're just like, oh my God, these songs are like brilliant, you know? So like I've grown to like stuff like that. But I think Dave Matthews, I'm not calling him Bob Dylan, but I definitely think he's got incredible songs. I really do.
I think when we're younger, when we listen to bands and stuff, we want to hear it like, well, that guy, he doesn't really play guitar as well. You know what I mean? And so we think it's a negative. But it's not, like you said, it's not about that. It could be about the songwriting. It could be about the how the record is made itself.
Right,
you know
right.
That sort of
stuff. Yeah. It's when you're younger, you're stuck on yourself. And like as you get older, you lose that.
That was like they don't sound like Metallica. They're not doing the thrash metal. The guy's not even doing a solo.
That guy sucks. He can't play like double kicks. You know.
Yeah, he only does a single in a metal band. Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Then I heard Creed and stuff like that, and I was like, well, this is an in between. There's some of that in there, and then the Drowning Pool and all that kind of stuff, and I started to turn around a little bit, at least with that stuff. But I was very just metal, very metal.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. But so you released 2006. You released an album, and then 2010 you released another album, and I hear you're working on something new.
No, I'm not. I am working on something new.
It's on your website.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I worked on a new single that I released like a couple of years ago called Rising Tide. But realistically, obviously we all went through this pandemic, right? Music.
Yeah. Did you write and record a lot?
No. You know what I did? I raised, and this is something that nobody really knows. I literally raised, I think, I don't remember the number, but it was like somewhere in the upper teens of thousands. So like $14,000, $15,000, $16,000 for local non-for-profits. Like I actually donated, like I'd go online and do the live streaming like everyone. And I just donated all of it.
I see what you're saying.
Right. And one night I don't like
you were doing a lot of digital shows. Yep. I seen that.
I was doing a lot of digital performances and I realized like, wow, dude, you've touched, like I'm saying to myself, I've touched a lot of people. I didn't even think about how many people have seen me play in the past 25 years. Because when I went and streamed live the first time, I was like, oh my God, do you see that there's 10,000, like literally 10,000 people watching this right now? Like, and I was getting like, that doesn't even happen for like people like that I respect more, like locally, that I think are like more, well off. Yeah. Like, I realized like, all right, there's a power in the amount of people I've touched throughout this 25 years of playing locally. The people that come, they leave, they go to California, they're in different countries. All these people are connecting like at
through
some
the
point.
Internet. Yep.
Yeah. So through the internet, it was incredible. And I was like, all right, cool. I did watch that drop off. It started off really high. And then by the end of it, it was like 700 views or something,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
there's
but
a
it
lot
was
of
like
5-second flickers in there too.
Yeah. It started like this and it slowly plateaued. But the bottom line is I was able to help. Like I felt really good about that because I've made a good career for myself and I was able to help, like a lot of the local restaurants that I played at and the waitresses and these wait staff and the cooks, they couldn't get unemployment. They were like trying and struggling. And like these guys were hanging on and I was like able to raise money to help those individuals out. And like from like the places I play at and then senior living centers and like mental health centers.
Yeah.
Yep. I felt really good about that. But
I like the nursing homes. I played a few of them. I like it.
What the point was, I did that. But other than that, I didn't do anything musically. I literally just fished. I literally just went fishing.
Took a break. I think maybe I read a post from you saying like, it's very rare that I think you were home for a month straight, sort of, and you there was no regular gigs and stuff, and you're like, I've never did this in whatever 20 years.
I've never had a summer off or something like.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt too. But I was on the other side of like, okay, everything that I was doing is now down to zero. So what am I going to do? So I did turn to a lot of the online stuff. Now I was doing it a lot earlier in those years from 2013, but something about the pandemic, just everybody jumped on the internet.
That's awesome.
And
yeah.
I was like, well, I could do a few of these a month and instead of doing the shows out live. And now I kind of prefer it. I consider, I can't say, let me start over.
I think I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
Let me start over. So I basically considered everything for the cover gigs and stuff, but I consider myself a little bit of kind of retired from it actually right now, because the 3 hour, I don't know if it bothers you a lot, but the 3 hour and the 4 hour gigs, it gets kind of stale after. I've been doing it 12 years too. And it's, what do you think? What's your thoughts on that?
My thought is tomorrow, today's my day off. Tomorrow I'm playing at the Americade from 12 to 4, the Expo.
Yep.
That's 4 hours. And then I'm driving to Saratoga. I'm playing at the Hideaway from 6 to 9. And then going from the Hideaway to Caroline Street Club to play from 10 to 2 in the morning. That's tomorrow. Damn. And then Wednesday, I'm playing the Americade Expo. Wednesday night, I'm then going to do a full wedding, like start to finish, ceremony, reception, everything.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go to sleep, play the Expo for 4 hours again, and then drive down to Saratoga and play for another 4 hours.
You're like a tank.
And then I'm going to do the same thing Friday. I do like a 2-gig day, and then Saturday, like a wedding. And then Sunday I have off, right? But like, I am so thankful to work and make a living doing, like what I love. And it's a craft that I've been doing for 25 years. Like, no complaints right now. Does it get hard to, to do that mentally? Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining. Maybe I was complaining before the pandemic, but I'm not complaining right now. I'll take the work.
Yeah. Now it's a little different.
Yep. Yeah. I'm happy to have the ability to do what I love and play.
That's how I felt before. I was like, I'm kind of done with this. Partly because I have that urge to do original more than the cover stuff.
Yeah, same. I do get where you're coming from though. And I definitely have pedaled back a bunch. Like, I'm not even going to work weekends unless it's like something like legit, I'm not playing the bar for a regular weekend night. I'm going to spend it with my family. And the other thing is
priorities, I guess that's what.
Yeah. The other thing is my fishing. You're going to laugh, but like legit, like I've never like had a guitar sponsor, but I have like huge sponsors for my fishing. Like I literally am going to fish the Opens next year, which is like one step before you become like a professional fisherman.
Yeah.
So like that's really growing for me to the point where it's like, how like you kind of like plant these, like you plant these, things and you just see, which one starts really growing.
Yes.
Like that's just doing its thing. Like I'm not doing anything. I'm not asking people to like give me free fishing lures. They're just doing it. You know what I mean? Like it's just like coming. It's like pouring out. Like, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll take this as it comes, because I actually get asked this question: what do you love more, fishing or music? And I will tell you, like, I don't really answer that question, but I will tell you right now, I'm going to say it actually is fishing.
Yeah.
There, I said it.
Yep.
I've been doing it since I was 3. I just love it.
Yeah. Do you eat them, right? What's your favorite?
No, I mean, I don't really eat them. I do eat fish, but I don't like go out and like, I'm not eating it all the time. If I eat fish, it's in the winter and it'll be like perch.
Okay.
And, yeah. But the other thing is like, they're two different things. And I really am passionate about music, and there's nothing like, I think the only difference about music is like, it's like I have to make money. I have to do music to make money. It's like, it becomes like a burden, right? To that money thing just becomes like a burden. That
kind of got to me a little bit, to be honest. I was
it's like the burden of like, this is my job. Like anybody that like puts the yoke around your neck and says, you go make a living doing this. And then you got that weight on your shoulders, like the responsibility of music.
And then you're like, well, live gigs is only one piece of the pie. That's what you realize. You know what I mean?
I didn't have any choice to realize that, Frank. I literally got started and like just never stopped. Like
you just kept going,
just like nonstop. The phone just blessedly just rings and gig. I just keep going. But like, I will say I've done some cool things, and definitely more things to come. For sure. I'm sure music is still like very,
Yeah.
very.
Got to get another original out there for everybody. So there's 2 albums. Can they still buy them on your website? And I know you're on iTunes and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I think you can't buy them on my website, but you can still buy them on like my website, CD Baby, digital, all that stuff.
Yep. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you on here. This is season 3 of NYS Music in Motion here. And you were the first one. I actually tried to get you on from the first season, but I know you were so busy, and then the pandemic hit, and we're like, okay, you know what I mean? So glad I got to have you on.
I'm really happy. I'm really happy. I remember, I think the last correspondence was like, we'll do it in September, and I was like,
yes,
perfect.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add here before we go to the people that have been watching you and playing to, all the years, fans, musicians that know you? Any last words or advice you'd give anybody out there?
Yeah, I mean, just come support live music. Because there's I notice. I think in the past 25 years, I think live music's kind of like lost. It's becoming like more of like a smaller crowd of people who really like live music. So there's a lost awareness, and if you enjoy live music, show it, go out and watch people play, go support it, because I think it's taken a little, it's the past 10 years, it's definitely taken on the back burner. And I think, I do think it's cyclical. I think kids will, I see like younger kids with like Beatles shirts on now, and I was like, things are happening. It's going to come back around.
Yes, I see that. Some of my students that I teach wear these shirts, and I'm like, that band? They're only 13.
Yeah,
I think a Rush shirt on.
I think it's cyclical. I think there'll be a time period where music is really appreciated again, like live music, that is.
Yeah. And part of it is maybe, the industry and the pricing and the logistics of everything,
Yeah. Just the way that when kids put on like headphones, they play their playlist, they get exactly what they want, and they don't even have to think about where it comes from.
Like, well, I can just watch him on YouTube from that live concert yesterday. And it's like,
I don't even need to think about it. Yeah. Well, a lot of that's cool. If they watch live music, I don't care how they do it. That's great. But like, when I play out and people don't even bother looking over because they just like, wait, I don't have that on my Spotify playlist. Like, it's not even like, it's not even connecting in my brain. Then I get worried. You know what I mean? Like, that's a song that I have in my playlist, but like, it's not exactly the same way, like in my earphones as it is when you do it. So it's like weird to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just, there's no like, we need some music appreciation. That's my last message.
Do you change the tunings of a lot of songs?
Do I? Yeah. I just do, like, even on a nightly basis,
Yeah. Sometimes higher, lower, whatever you feel like. Voice wise? Is it always voice wise, maybe?
Always voice wise.
What you feeling? Yeah. Yeah.
What I'm capable of doing that day, like, I think with that work schedule, like, sometimes you're at like 25% capacity or like strength, you're like down to like, you're like, I'm at 15, I'm flashing, my bar's flashing. I got to change it, dropping down. Yeah.
I think I'm going to tune to C today.
Yeah. Down to C. Yes.
Yeah. Do you play in any alternative tunings? Open? I know you do
just
some open.
Like certain songs I'll learn in some open tunings. Yeah.
Okay. But you're primarily E-tuned guy and then use capo and all that good stuff.
Yeah. E-tune guide, I'll raise a string, lower a string here or there.
Yeah. Yep. I'm a fan of Mark Tremonti from Creed, obviously, but I don't know if he kind of developed that open tuning for the rock world, sort of, but I feel like he did. But there's some cool stuff you can do by just changing the G and the B string, and I'm like, oh that's my god,
yeah, it's awesome.
It's a 12 string.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the talk, my friend. Thank you.
Me too. I appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll do something like this again here in the future, and maybe chat in person one day here.
Yeah, come see a gig, or I'll come to a performance that you have as well.
All right. Sounds
Thanks,
good.
Frank.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Rich Ortiz, okay? You can Google him, find everything on iTunes, Amazon, all those good places. Spotify playlists, probably on Pandora as well. But what I say is don't just stream it, download it, folks. All right? Thanks, Rich. I'll see you later, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Frank.